Today we count down our top 10 hip hop rap albums of all time. So today we're going to be getting into it. I know it's a little bit different for you guys, but today we're going to be getting into some hip hop. So as I said, it's our top 10 albums of all time. This is my list, our list of Dreamers Pro here. It is not the definitive list. This is just what we think. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, before we get into the content, all of this is in no particular order, but I'm just gonna, say out some albums, and this is what we think are the top 10 rap albums of all time. So coming in at number 1 is Tupac, All Eyes on Me. Now, I remember when I first heard this album, I actually was kind of late when I heard the album, but when I finally heard it, I was just blown away by some of the songs, the writing, and the overall creativity that Tupac put together on this album. And it had one of the biggest hip hop singles of all time, which is California Love, which is an anthem for the West Coast. And it's definitely on our top 10 as one of the greatest rap albums of all time. Number 2, we have Notorious B.I.G. with Life After Death. Now for me, I think Biggie Smalls was the greatest rapper of all time. I'm talking about lyrically, delivery, all of that stuff. Nobody was better than Biggie to me. His wordplay, the way he would deliver, his lyrics, and the way he was really good at storytelling. For me, Biggie is the best. He'll forever be the best, and I'm not going to change my opinion on that. And Life After Death was a masterpiece. It was a double disc album, and it was just completely incredible from beginning to end. The concept behind it, the production, the music, and of course, it features so many famous songs like More Money, More Problems, and Hypnotize. So Life After Death definitely makes it on our list. Coming in at number 3 is Jay-Z Volume 2. Now, I know a lot of people may be saying, hold up, I thought you would put Reasonable Doubt on this album. Now, yes, I would put, yes, the conventional wisdom would say that, but Volume 2, he had so many hits on that album. I mean, so many hits, and it's probably his most popular commercial album. And for me, I'm talking about the impact that he made globally, because millions of people went out and got this album. I know a lot of the purists are still going to say Reasonable Doubt, but I'm also taking into account the impact that he had on the culture and music as a whole, not just on hip hop itself. So that album made the list. The next album we have on the list is Nas Illmatic. Now, Illmatic is one of the greatest rap albums of all time. I'm sure some people out there watching this video will argue it's the best album of all time. That's cool. For us, it definitely made our list, had a lot of classics, and yes, it did include New York State of Mind, which is again another, East Coast anthem for anybody from the East Coast, New York, Washington, D.C., Virginia, whatever it is. If you're from the East Coast, you definitely was feeling that album and you was feeling that song. The next one may surprise some of you, but I got Mase, Harlem World on here. Now, before you sleep on Mase, I need y'all to go out there and listen to that album, and I need you to go back and know how nice Mase was when he first came out. Yo, Mase was he was like the Drake of the late 90s. That's how popular Mase was, and that album, believe it or not, influenced a lot of people. If you go up and look at some of the greatest, artists of all time, Eminem, Kanye West, Drake, all of them will tell you that their favorite rap artist was Mase. So y'all definitely need to listen to Harlem World, because Harlem World was amazing. So the next album we have coming up on the list is my dude 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying. This album, I mean, who can remember when the club came out? When that song came out, I remember I was in New York. That song was like, it blew up the world, and till today it is the most played song in the history of music in the club. That album is a classic. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not necessarily even a 50 Cent fan, but that album was incredible just for the impact and what it did for hip hop on a global level. That album went diamond, so there's no way that you can say that album doesn't make the list. The next one we have is Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City. Now, as y'all know, Kendrick Lamar is a West Coast artist. He doesn't really remind me of anyone. All I know is that he's lyrically nice, he's ill. But I remember listening to that album, and I think about the song like, Sing About Me, and I was just like, how did this dude come up with his, with the storytelling and the concepts behind this, behind these songs? I mean, I was literally blown away till one day, actually my mom, who doesn't even listen to hip hop, well she does, but she sat down and listened to one of his songs, and she didn't say anything, but she was just listening to the lyrics, and she was like, wow, this is incredible. So Kendrick Lamar, it goes without saying. Now, some people may have other albums that they think are his best piece of work. For me, Good Kid, Mad City is his best album he ever did. The next one we have coming up is Outkast, Stankonia. Now, Outkast, Stankonia was, I don't know if any of you can think back to remember when it came out, but when that album came out, it was definitely representing for ATL and the South. It was really, really popular. They had a lot of hits on there, like, songs like Bombs Over Baghdad and other songs like that. And it really ushered in a great era for, music from the South. And Outkast were one of the pioneers, and to me, they're probably the greatest rap group of all time. Some people may say Wu-Tang, whatever it is, but for me, Outkast, that album was totally, totally incredible. The next one we got on there is from the West Coast. That's Dr. Dre and The Chronic. Now, The Chronic has some of the most memorable songs in the history of music. That album is a classic because you can play it today, you can play it 20 years from now, and them songs in that album is still gonna be great. Nothing But a G Thing will never go out of style. This is one of the best rap albums done by probably the best producer of all time in Dr. Dre himself. So The Chronic definitely made it on our list. And finally, we got Kanye West, Graduation. Okay, now I know a lot of people may be thinking, what about College Dropout? For me, Graduation was when he was at the peak of his powers. Is when he really came into his own as an artist. Even Jay-Z said it like, yo, this dude has reached the pinnacle of his skills. And when you listen to Graduation, it had hits for days, like, Can't Tell Me Nothing, I'm Stronger. All of these songs, yes, it may be commercial, but it touched the world. And it was a really big staple for hip hop music all over the world. So for me, Graduation definitely makes our list. Now, this is our top 10. As I said before, I'm not saying it's the top 10 for everyone. This is just what we think. And the beautiful thing about art is that everybody has their own right to, have their own opinion to it. There's really no facts about it. It's just, opinion. So with that being said, if you liked our list, please leave a comment below. If you feel like we left some albums out of this top 10, leave a comment below and put your albums in there, and we may do a part 2 to this video if people like it. If this is your first time to the channel, if I've mentioned any artist that you think is really hot, make sure you subscribe to the channel and check out some of our other videos. With that being said, this is Charles here. Peace.